right, YouTube, here we go. Welcome back to BUB'S Comics. We have a haul for you today. Well, Toledo Fantasticon got canceled. So very, very sad. Looking forward to hanging out with Silver Age Dave. If you don't know who he is, you probably don't know who I am. But if you found me and you haven't found him, go check him out. How about that? Other than that, it got canceled. Had to cancel hotel. Probably won't get a refund on my ticket. So whenever they postpone it until, or whenever they decide to rehab it, I'll keep my tickets. Got a whole ton of stuff I was going to bring up today. Now just sitting here. So anyway, long story short is I wanted to make the most of it. So I was like, hey, you know what? Old Jambo Comics, fellow YouTuber, go check him out if you don't know who he is. He lives not too far from me, about 2 hours or so. So I was like, you know what? He's always talking about what great shops he's got over there. So I hit him up and I said, hey man, I'm already off work. I've already got time. Why don't I come up there and hit a shop or two up there and we'll go hunting together? And he's like, well, I would love to, but I got to work out of town. I'm like, oh, it just seemed like it was all coming down at once. I said, you know what? I got a pocket full of cash. I want some comics. I'm going to go up there. I said, tell me what shop. If I go to one shop in that town, where are you sending me? So he told me. I went to that shop, and here's what I got. First off, we got Supergirl #1. This is, I think, her first ongoing title. So this is a book I've been looking at for a while. I actually have it in my saved searches in eBay, but I hadn't pulled the trigger on one. So I saw one. It's in a little bit rough condition, but these tend to be in rough condition when I find them. So very happy to have that. The interiors are really cool on that book. So happy to have that. Next up, we got Captain America #107. This book was in an even rougher condition. If I count the amount of money that I spent on interior document tape, I don't even know that that's gonna be a good buy, but I went ahead and did it anyway. So happy to have that. The shop was cool. The shop owner was cool. Everything was great. It was one of those shops where you almost don't want to, you want them to succeed, but then you also don't want to tell people about them because then you might end up, you go and nothing you wanted is still there. He had a bunch of Cave Woman books. You guys know I'm a big fan of that. So here is Cave Woman, is Jungle Tales of Cave Woman #1. But technically, if you're looking this up, I think it's Cave Woman Jungle Tales #1. So this is kind of a reprint of the original Cave Woman series, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or ones that were a little too risque to show. I'm not quite sure. In any case, here it is, Cave Woman Jungle Tales. Yeah, it's not the reprint. These are stories that Bud Root had done that he thought were a little bit too much, and at the time they wouldn't publish them or thought better not to publish them. That's what they are. So Jungle Tales, Cave Woman #1, pretty cool. Shark cover there. This is also Jungle Tales, Cave Woman #1. Put the kids to bed. We have here, well, it's kind of like this. We'll go ahead and show it. I think it's pretty cool. Look at that tough Clyde the Gorilla. And actually, this is a wraparound cover, landscape wraparound cover. You don't see that too often. So, like I said, put the kiddies to bed for this one. Look at that. Well, we'll do a little bit of cover up because they don't usually show the bottoms on these, but in this one, I guess they did. But look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Clyde. Looking good. There you go. Miriam and Clyde at it again. And that's actually the same book. That's Jungle Tales, Cave Woman Jungle Tales #1, but it is the mature edition. So I hope everyone watching is mature. Next, this is a book that I've been looking for some time. I was very surprised to get it. Cave Woman Pangean Sea #2. And this one, again, Bud Root interior. So I was happy to get the ones that have Bud Root interiors. Because other people that draw it, a lot of them aren't very good. And it's kind of more smutty. And these are just really cool, very late 80s, early 90s comics inside, all black and white. They're just great. But I always love this cover. I've never seen it in the wild. So I went ahead and bought it. By the time I was done there, I had a stack this deep of Cave Woman books. He had a great collection for sale. but some of them got a little pricey, and I just didn't want to spend that much money on nothing but Cave Woman books. I already have a ton of Cave Woman books, and if you can imagine, a lot of them are kind of like that, and you can't really display those books, you know, properly. So a lot of them that are the more risque covers, those just end up going straight into my bin. So you can't display them as well. So because of that, I tend to not want to pick them up as much because they're not as versatile. Like, you know, because that I can display this one proudly, you know, in my collection. I think it looks fantastic. Let's look at that again. Look at Bud Root, the master on that. Isn't that fantastic? Just amazing. I just love that. And you hardly ever see her in a city, and there she is in New York. So I think that's cool. And I picked this one up, Cave Woman Pen GNC Prologue. So this is like a -1 or a 0.5, whatever you want to call it. So very cool. Clyde holding her. Some other kind of monster in the background. Look at that. Isn't that great? Oh, I just think that's fantastic. More frogs or something flying out there. Super cool. I just love that. All right, switching gears just a little bit. We got Betty Page, Queen of the Nile #1. That's a Dave Stevens cover there. And what's really cool about this is that this has got Jim Silk interior. I think it's pronounced silk. It's S-I-L-K-E. So if you're ever looking it up, but I call it silk. I guess it could be silky. I don't know. But I say it's Jim Silk, and just fantastic. Now this is actually an interior panel of the book done by Jim Silk, and then Dave Stevens did a version of it for the cover. Fantastic. Jim Silk, top notch. He's a painted artist, so the whole interior is painted. It's a beautiful book. Liked it so nice. I bought #2. Betty Page, Queen of the Nile #2. Another Dave Stevens cover. And Jim Silk interior. Look at that. That might be a contender for skull cover. Ah, maybe. Maybe. And then third in the series, and finishing off that series, we have Betty Page, Queen of the Nile #3. Again, Dave Stevens cover and Jim Silk interior. Fantastic. Great, great, great books. Great art. We haven't even got to the big boy book here yet, so stay with me. We got Megaton Man, #10. I'm not picking these up. Like, they get a little bit expensive even when you try and hunt them down because they're kind of underground kind of books. Kitchen Sink Press did this, and it's a great satire of comics, of the comic industry at the time. Just absolutely fantastic. So if you like this kind of stuff, pick up this kind of stuff. I pick them out of the $1 or less bins, but I haven't spent more than that on these, but I do really like them. And they're so goofy, you don't really even have to read them in order. You can just kind of pick and choose the ones you like and go from there. So very cool. Next, we got Barbed Wire #1. This is the Dark Horse version of Barbed Wire with a cover by Adam Hughes. I have the Ash Can edition of this that was sent to me in an AOK, but I did not have the official A cover. So there you go. Barbed Wire #1 by Adam Hughes. I mean, just think about all the great artists that I picked up so far. Got Adam Hughes, Jim Silk, Dave Stevens, Bud Root, Jack Kirby. You know, I mean, when you think about it like that, I'm not sure who did that one. It might be Infantino or something, I'm not sure. But when you think about all the artists that I was able to collect from one shop, spanning literally from the Silver Age up to the modern age, that's awesome. To me, that's a shop that gets my seal of approval. I love when a shop has something for everyone, truly something for everyone, including the underground books. You never see those. All right, here's a big book. Here's the big money I spent. I've already put it in a case because I didn't want to damage it. So there's Sensation Comics #80. Look at that. With the great Wonder Woman cover there. Great Wonder Woman appearance. H.G. Peters art. I've been looking for Peters Wonder Woman cover for a while. This was the one that got the grade. And it says, the amazing Wonder Woman displays dazzling swordsmanship in the exciting adventure of the Swinging Scimitar. There you go. The Swinging Scimitar. And get you a little bit closer. She's battling all those. She's fencing them all off. Look at that. Doesn't she look fantastic? I really wanted a my goal for Wonder Woman Golden Age Wonder Woman, this is from 1948. So my goal for Wonder Woman Golden Age was I wanted the boots, not the slippers, because a lot of times they'll have slippers down here with like a lace up, kind of like almost like ballet slippers or something. So I wanted boots, I wanted her classic outfit, and I wanted to see as much of her as possible, meaning not hidden behind a building or, you know, behind a train or something like that. Some of them are quite obstructed. So I wanted one that really displayed her all the way through. And I think this one, I was picking between a few Golden Age. This guy had a nice, small, but quality Golden Age collection to choose from. And this was just one that just kept speaking to me. What didn't speak to me was the price, but we were able to negotiate that down to something I was happy with. So check that out. Nice black cover. Of course, hard to get high grade on that. I'm putting it at a 2.0. I did have to do some interior seal work, tape seal, so depending on how that gets graded. But to me, I think that's a pretty solid 2.0 in my opinion. You know, and when I say that, if someone had listed this for a 2.0, I would say I would have agreed with that. Now, if somebody had said this was a 3.5 or a 4, I'd have been calling foul. And if somebody had said it was a 0.5, I'd have said, no, it's way better than that. But there you go. Very happy with that. Sensation Comics number 80, my Golden Age book for the haul. Now, this guy was so good. I walked in. He said, hey, you like treasuries? I said, oh, hell. I said, yeah, I love treasuries. How much? I start grabbing my wallet, right? He's like, I've got some real nice high-grade treasuries, and I've got some low-grade treasuries, which I like the low grades. He was like, so what do you think? I was like, well, I'll take a look at them when I get done with everything else. So I got done with everything else, and he said, well, is there anyone you're looking for in particular? Because I got quite a few. I said, actually, there is, but you may not have it. I said, it's a modern treasury. It's one of the few modern ones that are out there. And I said, it's a Rocketeer Adventures treasury. I said, it's got kind of a War Bonds cover. I said, if you don't have it, don't be disappointed. I said, but there is one out there that I'm kind of looking for. And he said, no, sorry, I don't have that one. I was like, that's okay. I'll take a look at your treasuries. About 10 minutes later, I'm digging through a box. He said, oh, I found it. Look at that. Rocketeer Adventures Treasury Edition. And you just don't see these treasuries like you used to. And it's all modern Rocketeer stories, and they're fantastic. I've already read through half of it. I absolutely love it. It's kind of an odd size. It's not as wide as treasuries generally are, but it is the same height as a standard treasury. Just not as wide. So very, very cool. I love it. The interior is fantastic. Got lots of great stories. I'm a big Rocketeer fan, as you guys know that. So I was super excited to get that. And then I also couldn't pass up on this one, and that is Superman Salutes the Bicentennial. So this is the limited collector's edition. I think it goes by like C47, so I think it goes by number 47. So there you go. Nice DC treasury filled with great little bicentennial. It says plus gallery of presidents' portraits, and there's all the presidents of the bicentennial in the back. And if any of you are old enough to remember the bicentennial, that was a pretty big deal. Everybody, you could buy bicentennial anything. My wife was teasing, saying that I think there was like a butter or something like that. It was like bicentennial butter. It's like whatever you got, they had a bicentennial edition of it. So there you go. So that's my haul. I hope you all appreciate that and enjoy that. I know I did. Thanks again to Jambo Comics for doing that, for hooking me up, for letting me know about this shop. Because I gotta tell you, it's one of those shops where it was almost so good, you'd just be like, I don't think I want to tell anybody about this. As long as there's enough people in there and he's doing good business and it looks like he's happy, I don't need to bring him any. Oh, I almost forgot something. Check this out, y'all. I bought this too. This is the Monopoly Marvel Comics Monopoly Collector's Edition. And it has all the pieces except I think it's missing a few of the houses and hotels, but the houses and hotels on this are not that distinctive, so they're kind of like normal houses and hotels, but the rest of the stuff is very different. So check this out. Look at the covers that they put on the cover, and they're all on the interior too. It's pretty cool. And so it's got Wolverine 1, first miniseries or first solo title, however you want to look at it. It's got first appearance of Iron Man, first appearance of Fantastic Four, first appearance of Spider-Man. And then they got that crappy ass 90s Captain America. I mean, what the heck's up with that? That's bull. Then they got, first Avengers, they got first Hulk, they got the first new team of the X-Men. One of these things is not like the other. And that's that one. And the interior is all these great. It's got Werewolf by Night properties. So awesome. It's got pewter figures, and they were all there. So I totally recommend picking up one of these. They're not that expensive. You can get them like under 50 bucks on eBay, but it's super cool. And if you're a Monopoly fan and you like Marvel Comics, you're going to love this. It's super cool. Can't wait to play it with the family. We're going to have a big time with that. So anyway, that's my haul. Hope y'all enjoyed that, and check it out for yourself. This is what it is. I'm not going to tell you the name of the shop because it was too awesome, and I hope he does good business. But really, I need to pick up some more books from there before I start shouting it out. So, all right, we'll catch y'all next time on BUB'S Comics. Remember, read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Bye-bye.